We're gonna play Tron. We're gonna play the best deck from Modern in the best format in Magic. And by that I mean this isn't Vintage, so it's the second best format in Magic. Alright, what does this hand do? What does this hand do? This hand doesn't do anything, right? Like, it's got a map and a Tron piece, but it doesn't have a second Tron piece, so it's a little bit sad. Easy mulligan Reno. No! Keep. Scry the third Tron piece to the top. Nope, bottom that one. Damn, it feels good to be a Tron player. Damn, it feels good to be a Tron player. Let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen. This Tron player ain't got no time for nobody. Oh no! Alright, we're just gonna pass the turn here. Tron, 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 Tron life! Let's do the Tron warp again. Discard at Randaroony, huh? Big old randos here. Where my Karns at, ladies and gentlemen? Asking the important questions. Where my Karns at? Can I get some Karns in chat to get them to the top of the deck subs? Can we get some Karn fathers in chat? We really need Karn to come through here. We really need Karns to come through here. Let's get some Karns. Let's get some come on, we got 2 shots at the Karn father. Oh no! Oh no, we're gonna need our second shot. Oh no! Ow! We're so unlucky. Can you believe how unlucky we are? Can y'all believe this is an injustice? What an unlucky Tron player I am. Should have egged for black, right? 5 more looks at the father of the Karn, you say? Huh. That's actually kind of close, right? Do I leave Ugin exposed in my hand? Or do I just take the Oblivion Stone because I can cast it? I guess I'm supposed to take Ugin. Hope for no whammies. Ugin costs 7, and unfortunately, the Tron lands only makes 7. Or costs 8, and these only make 7. Tilt. Let's talk about my friend, the Eye of Ugin. The Eye of Ugin is a very powerful card. So we were gonna get got by the K command regardless of which one we took there. I wonder if there was wastelands in their deck. I miss Eye of... I can't even imagine. This deck's probably not even that much better in Modern with Eye. Like, honestly, like, the busted things you're doing don't involve Eye of Ugin a lot of the time. Sylvan Scrying. Yep. Go get a Tower of Power. I guess I could hold that in case they draw a Wasteland. Maybe that's not unreasonable. Snap K command could get us here. Punishing Fire. Oh, they're on like the pure greed machine. We've played against this before. They're on like the super hyper greedy deck. Right, we've played against this nonsense before. It's just like super mid-range mush is basically what it is. I think we're getting Ulamog here. Ulamog sounds right. I could also just get Kozilek. Because, like, Kozilek counters a lot of spells. Draws me a lot of cards. I don't want to just get Kozilek. They could K-command me here. If they K-command me, I'm going to be a little sad. Is that one good? What do you think of that one, chat? How do we feel about drawing 7? I know how I feel about it. How does the chat feel about it? Alright, so... Am I just supposed to pop this now? So that way the Deathrite Shaman can't get me? Well, I guess the Deathrite Shaman could get me either way, right? So let's just pass the turn here. Got a good diversity of casting costs here too, so we can counter their spells. I've had better. Not hitting a land there is actually kind of unlucky, right? Like we kind of wanted to hit a land drop. Sure, down to 7. Can counter their cruel ultimatum with a card, right? Yeah, that one's pretty good. I think I'll cast this. I'll crack it for black. Cast this for 2. I'm a little sad if they have force or counterspell here, I guess. It's mostly just force, right? I'm gonna attack them because they're dead in 2 here. I think I just want to pass the turn here. That's probably just Karn and Karn the Dak Faden, right? So that leaves this exposed, but like, if they hit Diabolic Edict, I can just counter it. Let's just play Karn. God, Kozilek only draws you up to 7 cards. He doesn't draw straight up draw 7. He draws you up to 7. What if I suggested we don't do this? That's fine. I want to save the Scrying in case they have a Diabolic Edict, I think. I can counter a K command, I can counter a Lightning Bolt. Nah, I can counter a Lightning Bolt. Got 2 1-drops right here. All right, good. Glad we had this conversation, opponent. See, I bet my opponent built their deck thinking they could be the greediest mid-range deck on the block. Boy, are they wrong. Let me tell you about being the greediest mid-range deck on the block. Tron's got that one on lock. All right, do I want this Pithing Needle? This Pithing Needle doesn't seem like the worst. The Toxic Deluges don't seem great, right? I don't know that I'm in love with any of these other things. What are the odds they have Blood Moon in their sideboard? Does anyone know, does the opponent's deck generally play Blood Moon? I guess this hedges Blood Moon a little bit. I don't actually think Thorn is good. I don't think they Blood Moon. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in the Pithing Needle. No, Karakas is great. Karakas bounces Ulamog and Kozilek. So opponent's deck isn't particularly fast, and they're full of things like Hymn to Torok, so I'm just gonna keep this hand that has lands and spells in it. Relic is disruptive. Yep, that resolves. $74 of these cards are modern legal. Not quite. Not quite. We're close. There's most of these cards are modern legal. What's not modern legal? Bayou's not modern legal. Karakas isn't modern legal. Eye of Ugin's not modern legal. Toxic Deluge is not modern legal. I think the rest are. Just fucking Tron things. I'm gonna play this out. It exposes this to Culligan's command, but I think that's fine. It lets me Karn next turn. If they don't. No, I can't Karn next turn, derp. But, I think this is fine. I can just, like, naturally play my stuff out here. Yeah, definitely. 10 out of 10. In fact, if you read my article on Gathering Magic about the deck, I mentioned that you could play more copies of whatever that card's called. You don't have a Culligan's command. That's sad for you. This Karn Liberated. That seems fine. Tower, mine. Where's my power at? Pass the turn. So look up dead in the eyes and calmly put my Karn in the discard pile. These are my unbeatable cards. Pick your favorite. So unlucky to not just see. There's the bacon monster. They understand my pain. Just didn't draw the power plant. Had to search for it. It's pretty. I agree. It's pretty savagely unlucky. I kinda like holding the Bayou in case we hit like Sylvan Scrying, but maybe you could be correct. Honestly, maybe we're supposed to bin the Urza's tower because we don't. I'm pretty sure they're not on Wasteland. It'd actually be up for this being the right discard here. Because, yeah, I guess if they hit another discard spell here and take the O-Stone, I'm going to be a little bit sad. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I think this was actually the bin. Actually, what I was supposed to take here? I'm gonna draw an Eldrazi Titan and be sad that I discarded that. So here's the problem. They're gonna get to ultimate this because they have a chump blocker. So I guess it's like whatever I keep in the top of a deck versus the top of their deck. I think I should have discarded this Urza's Tower and kept that other Karn, and then we'd have won this game by a lot. Like they wouldn't have been able to. So we definitely discarded the wrong card of this. We're not dead by any stretch of the imagination here, but like we're not in an amazing spot. I mean, if we sack the Wurmcoil, we get 6 power, so like they're not in a good spot regardless of how they do this. So like if they split like this, I'm gonna bin this pile here. Use a pile to sacrifice. So I'm gonna sacrifice this pile. So I'm only one piece away from Tron. I am down. That's naming Dak Faden. That is one turn too late to tag the Liliana, unfortunately. That's cute. They used the lifelink against me. All right, we have a game. So now okay. Okay. There's 2 Collective Brutalities in our deck, too. That's actually a good point, King. Do it a Jace. You hit a Jace. It's fine. It's like an okay mid-range deck that's like inconsistent because it's not playing blue cards. It's almost certainly strictly worse than like a version of the deck playing blue magic cards, believe it or not, but is what it is. All right, any untapped land tier is great. Guess I should say any mana producing land tier is great. I shouldn't use this to cycle because then I could, if I hit the tower naturally, I could cast the, what's it called? This is tough. All right, let's make green. All right, play that. I'm 1 turn late on having enough mana for this to work, unfortunately. So we're going to get to O-Stone here, it looks like, unless they hit Kolaghan's Command this turn. They get a lot of looks at Kolaghan's Command, to be fair. That's unfortunate. And again, all of this is coming back down to the fact that I discarded the wrong card to the Liliana. 10 out of 10 discarded the wrong card to my opponent's Liliana, which meant I couldn't Karn, which meant we got Liliana ultimated, and everything just kind of snowballed from there. Pop this now. Hopefully they don't have another Jace. Snapcaster. Yep, want to beat us down and smart on the opponent's part. We are at like a cool 27 here. Yeah, we're definitely not dead yet. Like, we still have plenty of live draws. Just like want to reflect on the fact that like I had mistakes that led to this point that I'm at in my life. Like, opponent is only in this game because of the decisions that I made. Kinda. They have a lot of cards. So like, if they had a counterspell here, like they could be in a decent spot. We're at an okay amount of mana. The fact that we're not at Karn mana yet cuts off a lot of our outs. There's only one more Wurmcoil in our deck. Collective Brutality still just kills them, I suppose. You have a Vendilion Click they drew. Looks like a Vendilion Click. This is actually really good for them to... Oh, call against command and make me discard. Yep. It's pretty good for them too. Yep, I agree, Pimped Up Mug. Again, like, you don't want to give your opponent little tiny edges like that. We're gonna have to play a third game now that didn't have to happen in this set. Because I discarded the wrong card. Okay. Opponent wants to play with fire. It's gonna keep every fatty away from us. No, Tron's a control deck. Kozilek in the bin does feel bad. I agree. Like, when you describe a control deck, you describe something that is cantrips, sweepers, removal, like, all of those things Tron has. There are plenty of decks in Magic's history that are control decks that don't have blue in them. There are plenty of decks in Magic's history that are control decks that don't have blue in them. Oh, Jace with that. I guess I just hold this now, right? And if I hit a fatty, I can check with discard for counterspell first. Jace ults at 12. The bot is currently dead. Hi, Jacob. How you doing, buddy? Oh. Punishing firing me in response, sure. Okay. Want something to drink?
Yeah.
Go ask Mama. Mama's got your cup upstairs. Go ask Mom. We're just dead when they untap, right? Yep. Ugin off the top would have been pretty good. Slightly too slow. And again, like if I had just discarded the right card on turn 3 or 4 to that Liliana of the Veil, we'd have played the Karn, not gotten ulted, and then like taken over the game in a big way. Check out that article there for talking about what this deck does better than 12 Post. My body is ready to mulligan to 4 because that's what happens after you punt. It's great. I'm going to bottom that. Let's go. I cut the crop rotations after running computer simulations trying to figure out how many percentage points they added to the deck, and the answer was not a... I bottomed that, right? If mulligans puts a card on the bottom. Man, fucking Magic Online. You like actually move cards when I tell you to move them? Really frustrating. And, like it doesn't actually shuffle or reposition cards all the time. Constantly does that. Get him to Toroct. I can't because I shuffle my deck. Oh, I guess I haven't shuffled yet, right? If I shuffle my deck, I can't check, though. It's not the Tron land I'm looking for. Well, I mean, like, it's probably safe to assume that Magic Online is written using the shuffling algorithm for Magic Online is written using the same pristine code as the rest of Magic Online, which likely means that it's not particularly good. It's a Jace here, I'm just gonna get buried. Nah, I don't really play limited. No, there's 2 Collective Brutalities, so yeah, it's actually 1 in 54, or 1 in 53, however many cards are in my deck. Yeah, and like my opponent's drawn exceptionally well this game. Like, they've had a lot of disruption, like, quality disruption and stuff, but again, like, it comes back to the fact that, like, I wouldn't even be playing this third game if I would have just, like, discarded the right card in the other one. Like, those are the decisions you have to look at, right? Like, a match of Magic is more than just one game. I can't tell you the number of times where, like, I have someone that, like, I'm traveling with or someone that I hang out with at an event, they come up to me, they're like, oh, I just got so unlucky in the third game, my opponent had it all, there was nothing I could do, and it's like, well, what happened to the other 2 games that you lost, man?
Like there was more to your match of Magic than just like the one game that your opponent got exceptionally lucky or like drew well or whatever. Like you probably messed something else up somewhere along the way. I'm gonna play this. Probably meeting a call against commander or counterspell. Just hardcast a force here. Only play best of one game so I can complain. Matt with the real advice. We're probably just locked out of this game at this point between the Jace and whatever counters they have in their hand. This is almost certainly the game. Put a card on top. Yep, so I assume we're dead here. Limited in general is much higher variance than constructed. On top of the play variance that you have, like how your draws line up against your opponents and like matchup variance, how your archetype lines up against your opponent's archetype. On limited, you also have the quality of the pool you're opening in sealed, or what cards you're getting passed in draft. Draft has a little bit less variance in the deck quality than sealed does, but it still exists and is there. Any rate, thank you everyone for hanging out here tonight. We're battling some Legacy Tron. Punted that second game in that first match there, so could have pretty easily won that one 2-0 if I'd have thought about my lines a little bit longer and discarded the right card on turn 3, but ended up getting run out in that third game there after making that small mistake and getting punished for it. At any rate, I thank you everyone for hanging out. Remember to consider subscribing on Twitch and hitting that follow button if you're enjoying my content here and want to support it a little bit extra. Also, make sure to check out all of the wonderful sponsors and the discount codes that we have listed up there. We're on the play here against DNS Solver. Yeah, that sounds great, right? Like Tron piece map. Tundra Portent. Okay, this matchup's usually pretty good for us. Hannibal with the brand new Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Welcome. Subscriptions are the best way you can support my content here, so thank you. It's like we're playing against miracles here. Yep, and we had a second good matchup in a row, so let's try not to punt this one away. What are you doing, son? Kids are weird. Power plant, tower, mine. It's not a Karn. It's pretty unlucky. Crack this for green, see what we get. This for this. Relic going. They got a couple Snapcaster Mages. Them off of those. This can go fetch Eye of Ugin, and Eye of Ugin will hopefully just bury our opponent in the ground. They need, like, Monastery Mentor this turn. Wurmcoil. Just gonna go ahead and pass here. I'm just gonna go ahead and pass. I get a Thought-Knot Seer, and then I could Thought-Knot plus... Could Thought-Knot plus activate Eye again next turn. Unless they play a Jace here. If they play a Jace here, I'm going to go get Ulamog and just take him out. Yeah, usually these decks play Predict. That's pretty expected out of them. I'm gonna make sure we take out their basic island when we activate this when we use this Ulamog. Because sometimes they have Blood Moon in there. Blood Moon in their deck. I think there are some marginal differences compared to what is in the article. Yeah, I don't think the article had Mindbreak Traps on the board. My solution to the Storm matchup, or attempted solution, I guess you should say. Just gonna get plowed, but like, it killed the Jace at least, so it's got that going for it. Wurmcoil isn't particularly exciting in these matchups either, which kind of sucks. It's Sylvan Scrying for a Karakas, which isn't the worst. That'll be able to protect our Kozilek when he eventually comes down. Relicking them. Turn here. So it's gonna depend on this bad Scrying. So actually, it's funny. The reason why these are mismatched is actually because I actually have some Sylvan Scrying. So MTGO traders always send you matching cards if they have them in stock, and usually they do. We have a Entreat here. Why did we brainstorm like that? We have a Terminus on top of their deck right now. Nope, we're just shuffling away. God bless articles. You can just like link them. We might actually run out of things to go get. Kinda sad. Cast this, then the deck out. It is posted underneath my YouTube. So if you click on the YouTube channel down below, you can find the Chandra video there, and the deck list will be in the video description. What do you want to watch, kiddo? Sure, you got a Jace. So they must have a plow in their hand here. Not having drawn a Karn ever this game kind of sucks. Our Karns and our Ugins are how we beat this matchup a lot of the time. I'm gonna go ahead and attack Jace here first, so we get the plow out of their hands, so that way we can kind of work uninhibited here. Or we just got to gobble up the Jace. Weird. Huh. Do they have a Terminus that they put on top to deal with this Wurmcoil? Feels strange. Do this and pass for now. You want to watch this? What do you want to watch? You want to watch bots? You want to watch bots? Terminus, sure. Man, how am I ever going to replace this Wurmcoil? I don't know, I'm going to have to rack my brain, chat. You think we can rack our brains and figure out how to replace this Wurmcoil Engine? Has our opponent just gotten us? There we go. That's, that was good. I like that one. I don't see a way out. Counter. Take a look, see what you got going on over here, friendo. I'm gonna go ahead and... Am I gonna stir here? Alright, what are we targeting with the Snapcaster Rage? So, I'm just gonna blow this up here. Ocean's not a bad hit. Oh, this leaves this counterspell in the discard pile. That's interesting. Okay, so I really want to hit a Karn or an Ugin here. Ugin's actually better, right? To better prepare for Kozilek. Maybe. I think we're just going to play things out here. Like, we're probably just going to grind them down. My opponent doesn't want to play with my Ugin. So strange, opponent. Come back. So, actually, Pithing Needle's probably pretty good here. Oblivion Stone's actually great because, what's the word I'm searching for? They play, what's her name? Monastery Mentor a lot of the time. Do I want these Thoughtseizes and these Pithing Needles? Maybe not. I guess O-Stone handles Jace nicely. They don't have that many Jaces to begin with. I think I like this. This helps me punch through the counter spells too. Right, let's try this. Eugene just wants friends. Now come play with Eugene. He's all alone out in the play yard. Yeah, that seems great. We're not, like, in a rush here. Anything that could make us be in a rush, Toxic Deluge cleans up, so... Probably just going to curve the Thoughtseize into the Sylvan Scrying. I think my opponent showed that they're willing to counter the search pretty aggressively last game, which is good on their part. That's smart. So I want to Thoughtseize a counterspell. Yeah, I kept in Deluge because their Monastery Mentor is how they beat decks like what I'm playing. So you just want as many ways as possible to clean up Monastery Mentor. Look at that, second Tron piece. Like that. Just gonna take the force. This could be playing with fire. They could hit another counterspell here and then protect their mentor and then die. And then we could die. But I think it's right to take the force here and just like be on my game plan. I think they're probably just gonna play the mentor on 3. Tower of Power! So I need them to not have drawn a force here. Assume they're just gonna play this mentor out. If they drew a force, they won't get too many tokens. I guess they could have drawn a daze too, right? I'll pay 3 just in case. They drew a force. Yep. Beat. They have Swords of Plowshares and then 1 card we don't know in hand. Maybe I shouldn't have paid the extra life. Don't have a cantrip. God bless America. And now they have counterspell up potentially. They chose to shuffle. That's good for us. Alright, hopefully we can rip the Deluge or an O-Stone like a professional. We can't stir into O-Stone next turn, which sucks. We're taking 7 on this attack. We might just die. Yeah, I think maybe I should have just Thoughtseized the mentor. Like I said, this is the way we lose the game, right? We like win long games every time. No, I think you'd rather just play Pithing Needle, Pimped Up Monk. I'm not sure why. I think Spyglass is only an upgrade to decks that want to play Chalice of the Void. Eugene would be fine too. Yep, so we've got like 6, 7 life draws. That's not one of them. Oh, you know what? I could have found an egg and then egged into the thing, right? Nope, that wasn't an option either. I'm gonna go ahead and submit here. No, Stirrings isn't a redraw because Ugin and O-Stone each take 8 mana. So Stirrings is not a redraw. Otherwise, we'd have been pretty well off there, but Stirrings was not a redraw in that situation. And again, we lost that game because of a mistake that I made. If I would have just taken the Mentor, we would have had infinite time to fight through their Force of Wills and stuff like that. So I think that was 10 out of 10, a pretty big mistake. Seems decent. Got like 8 looks to find the 3rd Tron piece for Karn on 3. This is a turn 4 Karn. Alright. Seer's not the worst. Better than bricking. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm hoping their track record is better than what we've had previously. Cautiously optimistic, I believe, is a healthy way to describe how I am towards this upcoming standard format. This is Tower, Power Plant, Mine. Hey Jeff, next time you play Heck, could you make a Scion of Live Antec? Maybe. It's probably not unreasonable. I get to lead on this. And then if they force this, they need another force here to beat the Toxic Deluge. I guess I could draw a Thoughtseize here, so let's cycle this first. Or Collective Brutality. Counterspell, Brainstorm. Their hand's pretty bad, right? So I just take this Brainstorm. And, like, the Thought-Knot Seer gets counterspelled, and then the Karn will resolve. Wow, that's aggressive. Any mana producing line lets us cast this Kozilek. Probably looking for a force here. If we work on land, we get to cast this Karn and probably set that up, targeting their hand. Great, let's cost 10. I'm used to having an Eye of Ugin out. We get to draw 6 regardless here. I have 2 counters for... I'm going to hold these Chromatic Stars so I can counter 2 Swords of Plowshares. Next turn we have Karakas to protect it. Stop it. Good clean 12 ball across the table here. I mean, to be fair, we only have these left, right? Maybe I'm supposed to play one of these so I could cycle it there. It didn't matter, but I think maybe we're supposed to have played one of those there. Shot 1-1 in this league. Could have been 2-0 if I'd have played that first match a little bit better. Slow and steady wins the races. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out here tonight. There's a lot of different things you could be doing, different people who could be watching. Thanks for choosing to spend part of your evening here with us. If you're new and not familiar with who I am, my name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a TCG player and content producer. I write about Magic stuff and Hex stuff, and we stream Magic and Hex and all sorts of different card games on here. Been streaming a little bit of Epic card game recently, too. Their digital client just went into alpha. If you're enjoying what you see, please hit that follow button. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps other people find my stuff. If you're really enjoying what you see, please consider subscribing on Twitch or becoming a patron on Patreon. It's currently September, so all new subscribers are half off this month. If you haven't caught all of tonight's stream, we've been streaming Legacy for a little over 4 hours now. Definitely check out my YouTube channel that's linked down in the stream information below. I upload all of my videos there, and I break them up. By deck on there, so you can watch just the content that you care about. Trey, I think if you expect an exceptionally fair metagame, like 4-color control, the Chezek pile, the Miracles deck, Death and Taxes, stuff like that. I think this deck's a very reasonable choice. I think the Storm matchup is kind of manageable with this very hateful sideboard that I have. Grixis Delver is a very tough matchup for this deck. About Delver and Big Red. Delver's tough. Big Red isn't too terrible. I think you could skew the sideboard to beat Big Red. I think if I was expecting Big Red, I'd play a full swath of Pithing Needles. Or honestly, maybe the new Ixalan card so you can play it through Chalice of the Void to turn off their sneak attacks. Like, Oblivion Stone's pretty good in that matchup. The Blood Moon's not actually that amazing against us if they aren't killing us super quickly. Are there any other Furry Codex that are good besides Sapphire Wild? I have not seen any other Furry Codex that are good besides Sapphire Wild. Yeah, the Spyglass thing. Peeking Needle, I'm calling it. I think I'm gonna go a little bit slow and steady here and lead on Relic on turn 1 here. If I don't draw a Tron piece, I'm not gonna have turn 3 Tron anyways. If my opponent's a graveyard-based deck, playing the Relic on 1 is gonna keep them in. It's Chezek now. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You understand. Anyone who's been on this stream long enough, you'll learn, Karn Father. We pronounce all of the things wrong all the time. It's just what we do around these parts. Basic planes, huh? Could be taxes. Could be a control deck again. Hopefully it's a control deck again. Man, I should have just had faith that we were gonna get there. I should have just had faith that we were going to get there. I'm going to play a Phyrexian Invoker and make me sad. Ooh, some kind of mid-rangey Maverick deck, maybe? Thalia? Sure. It's a little bit sad. Go get a tower mine. Where's my power plants at? There's my power plant. Play that. Cast this expedition map. Kozilek? I mean, I have another relic right here. Like, not super worried about it. Teaglesworth. And Karakas. Teague plus Karakas is actually kind of annoying. What am I doing here? I'm gonna pop this. Go get Eye of Ugin. Nah, maybe that's wrong, actually. What do I... So next turn... I do not have a Ghost Quarter or Wasteland in my deck. This is Legacy, we don't have a Wasteland. Oh, I could search for my own Karakas. Derp, yep. Good call, good call. There's a Karakas in my deck. Thank you for that. It's been a while since we've Troned. Yep, we'll go get our own Karakas, we'll bounce their thing, we'll play our Ugin, and then they'll die. Ugh! Well, that's a tilt. So if I would have gotten Karakas, I could have gotten Karakas there and then done my thing. Alright, this gives us a window to kill Godaktik here. Feel like I messed up my sequencing this game.
Them letting me untap or not is the exact same. Because, like, if they wasteland me at the end step, I just use the mana at the end step to search for with the map. Like, it ends up being exactly the same. What are the odds my opponent's deck can beat this card? Probably not very good. Nope, they auto pass through getting their Jitty triggers, basically what happened. God, fucking. Oh no, a Batterskull. How can I ever win the game? They've cast this giant, powerful 5-mana spell. How do I ever beat their giant, powerful 5-mana spell? Oh, wait. Thank you. Are we done yet? We're done here. Good. God bless, opponent. Alright, anywho, Oblivion Stone, Toxic Deluge is great. Pithing Needle is wonderful. They're probably a Knight of the Reliquary and possibly a Loam deck, so the relics are probably fine to keep in. I actually think Wurmcoil Engine's probably a little bit mediocre. Same thing with Thought-Knot Seer. I actually want to cut in this matchup. These cards are great. When the kids are loud enough to break the noise gate. Need one more cut out of here. Everyone's just like, hey, Eugene, get out of my sandbox. I'm leaving. We done. It's just like minus a Collective Brutality. I hate that. Nah, I like the O-Stones. O-Stone's pretty okay even when we're getting wastelanded. Tron. Collective Brutality and Oblivion Stone kill Goddic Teague, and we have a Karakas as well, so. Opponent mulligan to 6 and scryed bottom. A skill testing opening hand. I mean, they probably have a wasteland, right? Like, they mulliganed. I'd assume we're getting wastelanded in the first 3 turns. This hand isn't going to have too hard of a time beating the first wasteland. The second wasteland might be a beating, depending on how our draw breaks. Green Sun for 1? Sure. Teaglesworth would be a little annoying. This can go get Karakas, though, so, like, Teague's not the end of the world. The subtle smile on Karn's face is what really makes the emote for me. What makes it happen, puts it over the top. That's not a wasteland, friendo. We saw Grove game 1. So, I'm actually going to wait on cracking this map because I want to use this map to repair Tron after we get wastelanded inevitably. Like, pretty likely to get wastelanded at some point, so, like, waiting to fire this off is pretty reasonable. When they realized we had it the whole time. Cooldown max with the realist beat stories. It does mean we can't guaranteed cast Ugin next turn, though. No, that's not true. I can go get another tower. Huntmaster of the Fells. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Huntmaster of the Fells. Alright, what if I...
Give me this! This thing! Give me this tower!
Are we done here? I feel like we're done here. It's possible I should take a card out of their hand there, but like, I really don't like my opponent having permanence. Not a fan. Punishing fire, target Ugin. Yeah, sure. Are we done yet? Why are we still playing Magic, opponent? Are we done yet? Are we done? Oh, welcome to Tron! Karn and his friends, all these nerds showing up with their fair magic decks. Welcome to the fairest of the fair magic decks. Everywhere fair magic strikes fear into the heart of combo, Tron will be there to strike fear back into the fair decks. Man, if I was just slightly smarter, we'd be 3-0 right now. Slightly smarter. Alas, we are but 2-1. Cool down, Max! With that Twitch Prime generosity, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Welcome. Can we get all the Trodlands altered so when you have them out, it makes the sweet pick of Thunder Dome? No, I appreciate the support. 2 more fair decks, please. 2 more fair decks for Karn to feast upon. Seems a little bit medium. I think I'm gonna mulligan this. Just like 1 Tron piece is not very good. Like not much better, but it's gotta threaten it at least. It's a scry as well. Hands off to a chalice on 1/2. Alright. This at least. Like some kind of post deck. Need to bat 500 here to cash this league. It's Khan. Okay, Kadaltha Forge Master. It's kind of scary. Rona could do a big thing next turn. We need to hit our Tron pieces. Right, there's a tower. Hey, Hallowishius! With the brand new $4.99 a month subscription. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Welcome. I mean, we're not just dead to Blightsteel, right? Got, we could hit Karn, right? Oh, no, they can. We are just dead to Blightsteel. Never mind. I'm a liar. The Blightsteel could be in their hand. Oh no, we're dead right now. They killed us on their turn 3. Rats.
Rats! That's what I'm talking about. Good fare. Good clean living. Alright, Pithing Needles and Thoughtseizes. Get these relics out of my deck. Eugene, I don't think you're gonna make the cut today, Eugene. I feel like you're just not gonna pull your weight.
They put the Colossus into play when I conceded. I waited for them to show it.
I made them show me. Kozilek's probably not very good. Yeah, one more cut here. Deluge is probably a little ambitious. Although I guess Deluge is better than O-Stone against the Forge Master. We got to squeak this one out or the next one to get our fun buckaroonies returned to us here on this Sunday Eve. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend, is gearing up for a good week. Excellent release events, pre-release events start tomorrow. Yeah, I think so, Pimped Up Monk. I don't know yet if I'm going to play more after this league. We'll see how this match and the next one go. Seems fine. It's soft to Chalice on one like most of our hands, but we get to assemble Tron through Chalice on one, which is nice. God bless your cooldown, Max. God bless you. Rude. I'm just going to pass the turn here. I'm going to wait to play this out because I might want to just play the O-Stone. This is the downside to waiting to play the Pithing Needle. See if they have another soul land here or not. Maybe they're on like the double city opener. They don't have another Evoker. This O-Stone could be really good. Ken, it's like, did anyone in chat play Magic during when Mono Black, the Pack Rat deck was legal, and like people were Pithing Needling Underworld connections, and it was just like, yep, you Pithing Needled my Underworld connections, that resolves. Alright, activate my swamp, pay a life and draw a card. Just like the sinking look on their face when you said those words. Please no second Revoker. Please no second Revoker. Jared Betcher Standard. Oh yeah, everyone get scummed. Gonna get you scummed. Get you dumped. Tron piece, please. Tron piece, please. Yay, Tron. Bum bum. Tron. You just gotta ask really nicely, just like that. Ask really nicely. We are the champions of the world. I'm gonna wait on this Pithing Needle again, I think.
Wait, is this a mana ability? This is a mana ability, isn't it? Dang it, Bobby. That's like a mana ability, isn't it? Let's double check before I embarrass myself. They're just gonna have, like, Colossus Greaves in their hand and kill us here. At least I got there before I embarrassed myself. They added a search bar, and it's fucking glorious. Although, their cards here appear in my... Oh, geez, they had Greaves plus Forge Masters, so God bless. Wait, they have an Oblivion... No, that's my Oblivion Stone, right? They revealed 3 cards that got 6 meta. This is going to be a Lodestone Golem, and then give me a little love tap here. Forge Master, sure. Oh, we're gonna do all of it. All right, on an O-Stone. Karn. I guess Karn's not even that good right now, right? I guess I mean, we basically just got Pithing Needle in Standard. Under a lot of pressure here. Deluge will do it this turn. Oh, life's great. I could wait a turn and, like, take a hit to keep my Pithing Needle around, but, like, eh. It's almost scary if I hadn't drawn a Wurmcoil. Alright, go ahead, opponent. This is all I have. Done here? God bless. God bless us, everyone. Bitsky poo. Probably want this in my deck, don't I? I could have Thoughtseize on the draw. Oh no, I don't know if it's submitted. Crap. It did not submit. I think this hand's fine. Seal of Primordium's pretty good. O-Stone also slightly above average. Yep. Yeah, you had to name the land that the Underworld Connections went on to not get got, basically. I'm just gonna cast this onto. This is the 5th Bayou. There are 4 Bayous in our deck tray. And the fetch lands weren't particularly good. I tried a couple of fetch lands and, like, the points of health were relevant at a couple of times. That was annoying. A Wurmcoil Engine. I guess there's a lot of scary things here. Eldrazi are kind of scary. Gross. Man, ain't no party like a Karn party. That was incorrect to play. I was clicking too quickly. Should have scryinged for the Tron piece and then played the Tron piece here. Super wrong. Get a Tron piece next turn and then not be able to play it. Drop.
Terrifying. We just want to save 2 points of health, hopefully. Snake drop. Yep. God, we could win this game too. Pull this up now. Punished for pulling the trigger on this. We can't play the map now. No Phyrexian Revoker, and we're in an okay spot if we had a mana producing land. Otherwise, we're dead. That's what I'm saying. I got punished for blowing up the seal of Primordium. Because if I would have taken the hit from the Wurmcoil, I could have used the seal on the Chalice of the Void, and then we would have been able to draw Eye of Ugin. Well, I mean, Eye of Ugin's not a land, right? Like, this is basically a 19-land deck. Like, this Eye of Ugin should be, like, over here in the spell slot somewhere. It's just, like, only here because it's the only place Magic Online lets it exist. Oblivion Stone requires 5 resources to blow up. It's got a lot of text on it, but that's basically what it says. TLDR, need 5 things to break this up. So, I don't know that it was objectively incorrect to save ourselves the 6 points of life there. Maybe it was just because of the out of the map. Although we take 6 more, so maybe we die a little bit sooner there. Yeah, we didn't have the mana. Eye of Ugin takes 5 mana to blow up. Oblivion Stone takes 5 mana to blow up, and Eye of Ugin doesn't make mana. So we were 1 short. Give us the mulligans to help us cash this league, right? Please! Please, Karn Fazer! I should say discard pile, right? Discard pile is a game. Resources is a game neutral term. Crypt is a hex specific term. They're all discard piles, though. It's a little bit medium. They know! They know too much! All right, Eugene, you're looking a lot worse here. Nope, just dead. Beating the first wasteland is not hard. Beating the second wasteland is often impossible. Around the 2 threats that we board out in this matchup. Nope, steady as she goes. Dead in 3 to this, and we need 4 to assemble Tron. I mean, the opponent's deck doesn't have any selection in it, so I don't actually think it's that bad of a matchup. Like, occasionally they draw 2 of their wastelands and run you out of the game, but like, on average, they're not even seeing an entire wasteland in a game. I don't actually think it's that bad. And again, like, a lot of decks in Legacy die to just like double wasteland you, put a threat into play. And like, when people talk about, like, again, like 12 post versus Tron, like 12 post gets slaughtered by that opener too, especially on the draw. It's like you actually just like never have any mana to do anything. At some point, we'll play more Epic. Yep. I actually have Epic loaded in the background right now. Forgot I had a game of Epic going. Epic is a living card game that has their digital client in testing currently. This is tower, power plant. I would like mine. I would like to pass the turn. So Thought-Knot Seer can take Karn, or it can take the O-Stone here. So, my chat has different rules than a lot of Twitch chats. So, a lot of people on Twitch chat are desperate to have you in their chat and desperate for approval. I don't give a shit if you're here. I'm just here to stream Magic because I enjoy streaming Magic. Like, if y'all enjoy it too, that's great. I just enjoy playing games. I like that other people get something out of it. So when people just post what I would like to say noise, something that doesn't contribute anything to a discussion in chat, I often ban them. Because why should they get to sit there and post noise in chat and like take space out of my chat away from people that want to contribute and have a meaningful discussion? Why don't you seek my approval more? Like, exactly. It's like, well, I mean, it's great. I like having people here, but like, if you're just here to make noise and whatever, like, I could do what I'm doing without you. Hang out and play video games on my computer. I like the nice people that are here. They're wonderful. But like, if you're just like blatantly posting something that's like obviously just to be obnoxious and make white noise, like, why do you need to post in my chat? Like, if I ban you from my chat, you can still watch the stream. You just don't get to contribute noise to my chat and take something away from other people that are interested in contributing something here. All right, so is this just like play Karn plus? I guess I could cycle this first. Maybe we hit a land. The bot is currently dead. Or I could just play the other Wurmcoil. Usually they have a hard time beating one Wurmcoil. Beating 2 Wurmcoils should firmly put them behind. Sorry, so someone asked what a living card game means. So a living card game basically means that instead of there being collectible cards that you buy at random out of booster packs, you just buy a box set of the cards, and it comes with all the copies of the cards you could ever need to play. So actually, I was just pricing out physical Epic cards. To buy a play set of every card in Epic currently costs $130. So for $130, you get 3 copies of every card in all 3 Epic sets. So you can play any deck in their constructed format and brew and do all sorts of stuff for $130. Because they don't have physical booster packs, their limited is based around, what's the word that I'm searching for? Their limited formats are based around what's basically cube drafting. So you shuffle up the packs and then you do them, and they have like a regular cube draft where like you cube in a circle, and then they have another one-on-one cube draft called Dark Draft that's actually pretty interesting. I think we're just gonna hang tight and build insurmountable advantage on our side of the table. We are gonna have to win game 3 on the draw, which sucks. Not impossible. Hard, but not impossible. Maybe we'll play a little bit of Epic to close the stream out. We've been... wonder if this is Endless One here. Nope, this is a concession. Like Karn into Ulamog, yep. Exactly. I cut this and bring in this Collective Brutality. Builder early plays a little more consistently. Oh, I don't think that's submitted just now. Slow. I think it's pretty mediocre, right? Like only pretty bad against Wasteland, and it's pretty bad against Chalice on 1. Mulligan close hand, get immediately punished. The actual gameplay in Epic, so like in addition to like the card game model, like the model of the card game being interesting and like not like raking all the money out of your pockets, the actual gameplay for Epic has been fairly enjoyable too. It has kind of a unique take on the resource system. In general, I haven't banned a subscriber to date. That being said, if someone was truly obnoxious, it would not be worth their $2 a month to keep them around. But no, so far no bans on subs. Yep, good, strong, aggressive curve here. So the cards are strong, but like it's all about gaining small advantages with your weaker plays is basically what the gameplay comes down to a lot of the time, it feels like. So how the resource system in Epic works is that probably just getting Spashered next turn and just like super dead. And that's how this is gonna work. I'm actually just getting a Bayou here. A Bayou. We're getting Wastelanded and then dead. So far, no bans on subs. Time to pop that cherry. Pippity pop. Dead to Smasher. Finger on the concede button. Finger is on the concession button. Justin Umezawa's Jurgit. That's pretty good. Probably dead here. I have to pay 8 to kill this, which puts me to 2, which then leaves me dead to the Mistress Factory. Game opponent. Dead to a lot of things, including that there.